Hello, I am Hanna Baer, educational therapist at Yotrim Limida. I want to talk with you about what it means to look at difficulties or issues that children have from a whole child perspective. Imagine, if you will, for a moment, the child that has difficulty interpreting social situations, always focuses on the little details, and when this child tells you a story, needs to give you every little detail, and in addition, jumps to conclusion. The way we look at children, we look at the nervous system, we look at nutrition, we look at behavior, and we look at learning skills. Let's start with the nervous system. The nervous system is our tool with which we interact with the world. Now, calcium, for instance, plays a big role in hearing, which is interesting because calcium is not something we think of when we think about hearing. Say this child has an auditory processing problem, and calcium absorption is one of the reasons. This child, having an auditory processing problem, will only pick up from the world around him bits of information, which means in a social situation that this child hasn't learned how to make connections between what happens on one side and what happened and the consequence on the other side. To make it even more concrete, you have his friend who is reacting to something, and this child has no idea what this child is reacting to, because what he's reacting to is the information that he missed. He sees the world in bits and pieces, or he experiences the world in bits and pieces. He experiences the world in details. So what this child gives back to you is exactly that. He hears the world in details and needs to share every detail. The problem is that this child may have difficulty looking at the big picture, looking at all the information, and will therefore jump to conclusions. Which means that with targeted exercises, with which you can change the working of the nervous system or the efficiency of the nervous system, with working on his or her learning skills, you can change how this child functions in the world. Also, the child will understand that it is not he or her himself, not his neshama, not his being that is having the difficulty. He or she is fine, is beautiful. It is his body and how his body functions in the world that is causing the difficulty, and that you can change. Which means that for every child, there's a possibility of change. That is how we work. That is educational therapy.